it was 50,000 Kenya shillings and not 50 million, as I had earlier read.
You added a couple of zeros, Shiu. All right, we're back with Waziri, Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, Kipchumba Murkomen, in the House, answering the questions. And by the way, we were talking about abductions earlier on, right?
Yes, yes.
I have a couple of names, and give me a moment here. Martin Mbisi, Kalani Mwema, Emmanuel Mukuria, Peter Masharia, Dennis Shege. All these missing people, missing. And nobody knows their parents, their kin, nobody knows where they are.
That's why I said earlier that it is a matter of great concern, but they are not the only ones. As I told you, if you look at the statistics last year, the missing persons was 123. So far this year, from January to now, the reported cases of missing persons are 13, which are reported with the police. Whereas some cases are directly linked to the period when there was demonstrations, budget-related demonstrations, other cases are reported all over the country, including in the border areas of our country, and so including also in this city. A lot of people go missing in Nairobi. So it's a question of a great concern to all of us, and I think that the files are opened, they're active, investigations are ongoing, and as I said earlier, that particularly the ones that parents and families are suspecting that their loved ones have been abducted or there is an enforced disappearance, I think it's a matter of great concern to us. The same way we investigate any security officers who may involve themselves in acts of extrajudicial killing, abductions are going to be investigated, whether it's affecting people who are serving in government or citizens or hooligans or gangs. Yeah. That will be done. And you know, there was also a pleasant surprise last year that some people who were allegedly abducted were released. About 5 young people. There was an MCO also involved, and it's important for also the DCI to give full account of the same, so that we get to know whether they can help us, give us leads as to who is doing this.
Waziri, let me ask you this real quick. It's very ironic that Member of Parliament for Kasipo, Charles Ongondoere, he's assassinated in the streets of Nairobi. Yeah. And the manner in which the DCI and the investigators have gone and arresting one person, two person, I think it's up to 11 now, including the hitman, has been incredible. I mean, this is, unprecedented. And yet, young kids were abducted a year ago, and nobody knows where they are. I mean, is it selective justice?
I think the case of Honorable Ngondowere, again, very unfortunate, is not the only one that has been investigated and persons charged expeditiously. You know, even the news today was reporting, or yesternight was reporting about the trial that is ongoing for some officer who is working with IEBC from Kilifi, who had been murdered. And if you look at the newspapers today, one of the newspapers, I don't remember which one, it had even the picture of the trial ongoing, and that is something that happened 3 weeks ago. I mean, like a month ago, and the people were arrested immediately. There are cases of, there are various cases of crimes that are investigated by the police. By the way, nobody complains nobody appreciates the work of the police until something goes wrong. But daily there are many people who are arrested for murder, for robberies, for theft, for all kinds of crimes. They go and report it. But if you look at the record, the police officers investigate very fast. And remember, the issue of Honorable Ngondowere was almost like straightforward. The CCTV cameras quickly showed who were with him in Parliament, the motorbikes that were following him, and then quickly there was triangulation of phone calls that quickly connected everybody, and it was easy to arrest all these people. And it's not just the case of Ongondo Were, many other cases that are go unreported. It's just that because Honorable Ongondo Were is a member of parliament and was given prominence in reporting, there are many, many, many other cases that police investigate and charge people all over the country for drug trafficking, for human trafficking, for murder, for assault, manslaughter, all these kind of crimes, robberies, they happen. I want to confirm that the complexity of missing person cases is inability to, especially if you are unable to link the phone of that person with the person who abducted them, it becomes a bit more complicated.
Yeah. Okay. Director General of NIS, Nuruddin Haji, spoke in front of a select committee.
Yes.
And was talking about multiple threats from multiple sources.
Yeah.
Are you aware? What are these threats? Who are we talking about? Everyone from Al-Shabaab to, who are we talking about?
First, let me say that if you ask me what is the state of our homeland security at the moment, I would say our security is stable. Stable in the sense that we have functioning and working democracy as a country. We have a proper governance system. We have rule of law. You can arrest people and take them to court, charge them, and people can be held to account. We have many citizens across the country going about their business, economic activities, socialization. The unity of the nation is good. But what you know, we collect, share credible intelligence in the country that we are able to use to act prior acting, and we have so many, and we have robust counter-terrorism measures. So our country is stable. That's why many people are going about their business. But it is important for the people of Kenya to know that for the last 20 years, we've never rested from the threat of terrorism. Remember that we have a very long border, thousands of kilometers from Lamu all the way to Mandera, to Kibish, and you come all the way to almost Kwanza. This particular border is very is the place that we receive the greatest threat externally, the threat of external aggression.
So it's very porous.
It's a very porous border. The reason why we have acts of terrorism to start with is because of the border from Lamu, from Kiunga all the way to Lake Turkana. And as you know that Al-Shabaab activities have never stopped. And the reason that fuels the presence and aggression from the Al-Shabaab is because there is no properly functioning governance system in the areas they operate in parts of Somalia. As you very well know that reports also have indicated that they have become a great threat in the recent past, even to the government of Somalia. So this threat has been there, it has never stopped. Many Kenyans ask me, and I see some citizens, sometimes when they hear a reported case of either people abducted by Al-Shabaab like the chiefs last time, or they hear cases of people dying in a quarry, or they hear cases of some of our officers we lose in the battlefield, they wonder, they think, most people in the inland here, in the safest places of our country, they always thought that Al-Shabaab issue has since stopped, because you remember in the first administration of Jubilee, the first term of the Jubilee administration, it was a big problem. Yeah. And then part of the second term, and we really struggled. I was in that leadership also, and we really struggled to find ways of containing this enemy. And we have made great progress as a country. There are men and women in our border, particularly our security officers, who are making greatest sacrifice to protect this nation. They are operating in multi-sectoral team as a total team of what we call multi-security, which includes the KDF, includes the specialized forces of the police, and also citizens of this country who are making greater sacrifice by virtue of shielding the rest of the country, operating in the border and bearing the greatest burden and of security because of their border.
Do you get worried?
Why? I am not worried. That's why I started by telling you that the security of the country is stable. Why I'm not worried is because of the sacrifice that our security forces are making every day. I get concerned, of course, when we lose men and women, but it goes unreported also that they are able to neutralize the enemy in a big way. And in most cases, these situations are not reported. So that's the first threat. The second threat is the question of banditry, which is fueled by proliferation of small arms. Again, that problem, it covers the entire border. But also when you look at our border in Marsabit with Ethiopia and all the way to South Sudan, all the way to parts of northern Uganda, you will find that there is a high proliferation of small arms because of the conflict in South Sudan, the situation in southern Ethiopia, and the problem of Somalia. So unfortunately, we didn't choose our neighbors. We would have loved to have neighbors that are like the southern part of our country, where our border is peaceful. We do not have to struggle with proliferation of arms. But that it is what it is. So if you go to a place, for example, as I went to Todonyang, a place that no cabinet secretary has gone for since 2011. And you go to Todonyang, very beautiful, but everybody is carrying a gun. Why? Because the neighbors on the other side have guns. On this other side, civilians also have guns. So the entire border, if you go to Kibish and all that line, you will find that we are struggling with proliferation of small arms. What does that do? It makes it difficult for us to contain the crime of banditry. The reason why there is, because of the porous border, you have guns being sold all the way and brought all the way to Kerio Valley here, to Laikipia. You have up to Meru. You have situations also where ammunitions are also sold all the way. So the crime of banditry is being fueled by availability of these guns because of our porous border. That is, again, a consistent threat in our country.
Our armed forces, our police services, do they have the right equipment? Do they have, because
yes,
there's been a lot of IED explosions.
Yes.
That's taken,
Yes, we have, by virtue of the program of modernization of our police service, and our KDF has really helped in a great way, because some of the MRAPs that are being used and IED vehicles that have been used in the north have really helped to save many lives of our police officers, but yet many more are needed. The context with which the Director General of the NIS made that presentation in Parliament was budget, because there were some people who are doing politics with security budget. They look at the security budget and they talk about, this money is being given to NIS so that they can, do politics and so forth. We are even unable to provide a half of what we need to secure our country better. But we, using technology and using strategic operational processes, we've been able to narrow the gap. And that's why we must, as a country, continuously invest in the security sector. We must continue investing in better equipment. We must invest in drones, including the ones that can fly at night. We must be able to continue investing in more air power. There must be, one of the reasons why we are unable to track also sometimes bandits, because we do not have enough helicopters that can help us take the troops to the right place and then, be able to contain the situation that we have in our country. So the reason why some challenges are still persisting is because of our budgetary allocation. And the Director General was trying to say, you try your best to keep information. The amount of information I have or I know, if I told you, Jeff, maybe you'll not sleep in your house. So sometimes you are like, let me keep this information so that you contain the country. In any case, as long as we are containing the enemy.
Correct.
But if that becomes a threat to the budget, sometimes you are forced to speak the way the Director General spoke, because it is not normal for a Director General of an intelligence of a country to speak the way DG Nurdin spoke. Correct. But it was necessary because there's been so much propaganda out there that the only reason why our security forces are given resources or they need resources is for purpose of doing politics. Okay. Forgetting that it's for purpose of protecting our country.
Let me know. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
Do we have misplaced priorities Because in your docket, you need the money.
Yes.
And then we hear that 2 billion shillings is being spent over here, 5 billion there, several billion here. You must ask yourself, where are our priorities?
I think that...
I'm going to take a break.
Yeah, okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
Think about that, because it's very important, Waziri.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Is the homeland safe? We want your thoughts and comments at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV, carrying the hashtag JKLIVE. JKLIVE takes a break. We'll be right back with CS for Interior and National Administration.